Okay, this is our last section on surface area. So far we've done rectangular prisms, cubes, and triangular prisms. And the last one we have to work with in grade 8 is surface area of cylinders. So the first question says, calculate the surface area of the cylinder to the nearest tenth of a square centimeter. So the first thing you have to realize is that if you look at the cylinder as a net, there are three faces. The top and the bottom are circles. And if I was to split open this third face of a rectangle and cut it down the middle like a can of Pepsi or something and open it up, it would be a rectangle. So your three faces are going to be two circles and a rectangle. Now, since there are three faces in a cylinder, the top and the bottom, are really easy to find the surface area because all I have to do for that is use my formula pi r squared. And since they're identical, I just have to do it once. So for this circle here, if I was to draw it up here, the diameter is said to be 9, which means I know that the radius would be 4.5. If the diameter of a circle is 9, then its radius is half of that, so its r would be 4.5. So we substitute 3.14 for pi, 4.5 for the radius, and square it. Now, according to BEDMAS, we have brackets, which we don't have anything in there because inside these brackets, there's nothing to solve. There's no brackets. And then we have EDMAS. Step 1 is brackets. Step 2 is exponents. Step 3 is division and multiplication in the order they appear from left to right. And step 4 is addition subtraction. So when we substitute 4.5 as our radius, what we end up having here is an exponent as the first thing we simplify. So 3.14 multiplied by 4.5 squared, which means 4.5 times 4.5. My calculator, I'm fortunate because I have a square button. It tells me that 4.5 times 4.5 is 20.25. Okay? Last step is simply multiplication, which is pi multiplied by 20.25, which gives you 63.585. 63.585 centimeters squared for the area of the circle. So take my eraser, erase all the little stuff in here. Don't need any of that anymore because I've already got it. And inside there, I'm going to put 63.585 centimeters squared and 63.585 centimeters squared. So of the three faces that make up the cylinder, I now know 2/3 of the area of the cylinder. The last one, which is the tricky part, is this rectangle. And we took a piece of paper at one point and we rolled up the cylinder and we realized that this green circle here is the circumference of a circle. And if I think about how that rectangle relates to it, that green line there and the green circumference of the circle are the exact same distance, because if we wrap that rectangle around the circle, the green line would be the exact same distance as the circumference of the top circle. So what we have here is that green line is going to be this, and this red line is really the length or the height of the cylinder itself. So the green line is the circumference multiplied by the red line, which is your height, will equal the area. Or circumference multiplied by height will equal your area. Or more importantly, since circumference has a formula, I'm going to erase all this here. Instead of saying circumference times height, and circumference is pi times diameter. Circumference is equal to pi multiplied by diameter. So instead of saying circumference times height, I could say pi times diameter times height, or pi dh. And that is the formula we use to calculate the area of the rectangle, or the third face of a cylinder. Pi being 3.14, the diameter being 9, and the height being 55. 3.14 multiplied by the diameter, which is 9, multiplied by the height of the cylinder, which is 55, and the answer is 1,554. 1,554.3. Okay? So now what we have is we have the areas of all three faces, the rectangle and the two circles. So 155.4.3 plus 63.585 plus 63.585 will be the total surface area of the entire cylinder. Take your calculator, take the rectangle plus the top circle plus the bottom circle. Your total surface area is 1681.47 centimeters squared. Now, alternatively, instead of drawing the net and instead of doing all this work, what could I do instead? I could write a formula. And the formula in its most basic form is two circles plus one rectangle. That would be the surface area of a cylinder, correct? Two circles is really 2 pi r squareds. And the area of that rectangle, if you go back to what we talked about, is really the circumference of the circle multiplied by the height. Or circumference times height would actually be pi d times h. So your formula for the area of a surface area of a cylinder is two circles and a rectangle, which will be this formula here. Substitute what you know. So 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 4.5 squared plus 3.14 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 55. Now all you have is a simple bed mass question. Before you do multiplication, do your exponents. 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 20.25. That's what 4.5 squared is. Plus 3.14 times 9 times 55. I now simply have multiplication and addition left. I'll do my multiplication first. 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 20.25 is 127.17 plus 3.14 times 9 times 55 equals. So take that number and add to it 155. Oh, sorry. Add 127.17 to it, and you get 1681.47, which is exactly what we got before. And your last question in the show, says calculate the surface area of a cylindrical wastebasket without a lid that measures 28 centimeters high and 18 centimeters in diameter. Give your answer. So first thing I'm going to do is just sketch it. So that would be what it looks like. It's 28 centimeters high and 18 centimeters in diameter. So if I break down the net, it's not two circles because it doesn't have a top. Actually, I shouldn't put it up there. I should put that circle down below because it doesn't have a top. When I broke it down into its net, I would simply have the bottom and the sides. Or side, excuse me, not sides. So here, we're simply going to have 1 pi r squared, not two of them, and a pi dh like we did in the last couple times. So 3.14 multiplied by the radius. If the diameter is 18, then the radius is 9. So 3.14 multiplied by 9 squared, or 3.14 multiplied by what, Donnie? What's 9 squared?
9 squared, that's 9 times 9 is
Perfect.
81.
81. So take your pi, multiply it by 81, and you get 254.34. That is the area of the bottom of this wastebasket, 254.34. Now the other part is the side, which is pi dh. 3.14 multiplied by 18 multiplied by 28 will be the area of that. Just grab your calculator. 3.14 multiplied by 18 multiplied by 28 gives you a surface area of 1582.56. 1582.56 for the sides. And the surface area is only going to be the sum of those two. So take that number and add 2 at the bottom of this monstrosity of a wastebasket. And your answer for the total surface area is 1836.9. 1836.9 centimeters squared is the surface area of your wastebasket. Oh, to the nearest square centimeter. Oops. Which is approximately 130, round to the nearest centimeter, so I got to round up, making that 1837.